Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Every walk of life.
Every walk of life.
Every creed and color. In kinship we unite.
Kinship we unite.
In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One.
Yes. Woo. Good morning, Ahava Center for Spiritual Living. So good to be here this morning. Yes. Let's give some love to our band. Woo. Our music director, Joe Cinquina, also on bass and vocals. Woo. We have the incomparable Lauren Dechtenberg on keys and also doing vocals and our reading today. And we have Tim Welch today subbing in on drums, so give him some love. Thank Tim for being here. And of course, Mr. Jeff Watts on sound, making us sound good. So Ahava is the Hebrew word for love. And we gather together each Sunday knowing that love is
always the answer.
You read my mind. That's right. I am Reverend Rainbow, your spiritual director, and so grateful to be here today and to welcome you home. Yes. We are a conscious community committed to curiosity so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are and wherever you are on your path, know that you are absolutely welcome here. If you're joining us online, please say hello in the chat. Thank you for being a part of our global virtual community. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button as well. And if you're in the room, we invite you as well to take out your phones, to check in on social media, post some pictures and inspiration throughout your morning so that more folks can know that the love is here waiting for them. Yes? Yes. And if you are here for the first time, we especially welcome you, letting you know that your presence here makes a difference. Is there anyone here for the first time? I think I recognize most of the faces, but yes, thanks for being here. If you are online for the first time, please let us know, and we will send you some virtual flowers and a link to a connection card where we can get to know you better and let you know about all the happenings going on here, both in person and online. We are so grateful for the many people that come together to create this experience. So I want to take a moment just to thank all of our volunteers, from those behind the camera in the booth with the youth, hey, that rhymed, and beyond. So give yourself or others some love and appreciation for our volunteers. And if you're looking to step into service, we have an opportunity today. We're having a training for our youth program. Even if you didn't sign up in advance, I'm sure Heather would be happy to have you stick around today. It's from 12 to 1, and there will be lunch provided. All right, so now is the time where we get to remember that we are all a reflection of one another. So I invite you to perhaps place your hands over your heart, to turn to someone and say, thank you for being a reflection of me. And we have an amazing vision and purpose here at Ahava. So I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community.
We are an inclusive community.
Committed to global transformation.
Committed to global transformation.
Through personal evolution. And our purpose, let's do it together. Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. Today's affirmation I will read and then invite you to affirm along with me. I open to love through forgiveness and grace. Let's say it. Open to love through forgiveness and grace. That's right. So I invite you now to take that deep breath as we move into our centering song and our opening prayer, which will be led this morning by our practitioner, Louise Talon.
In this place, my soul is free from the light within. I see all the joy, all the peace. Carry me. Carry me, carry me, oh, carry me. In this place, love abides, holy light surrender carry me, oh, carry me.
So in this place, I know that there is only one presence, one life, one essence, one universal cosmic isness that is in, through, and as all that is. And I know that presence this morning as love, as freedom, as abundance, as joy, as peace, knowing that what is the truth of the one is the truth of me, is the truth of each beloved hearing my voice. For there is only that one expressing as the many, and so knowing that, I bless our time together. I bless the words of our beloved minister, Reverend Rainbow. I bless the voices and the sounds of our beloved musicians. I bless the hands and hearts of all those who have come together to create this holy space this day, knowing that indeed we are simply the divine, beholding the divine this morning, for that is all there is. And knowing that, I allow it to be by saying, and so it is.
All the joy, all the peace, carry me, carry me, carry me, oh, carry me. Today's reading is from All About Love by Bell Hooks. Generous sharing of all resources is one concrete way to express love. These resources can be time, attention, material objects, skills, money, etc. Once we embark on love's path, we see how easy it is to give. A useful gift all love's practitioners can give is the offering of forgiveness. It not only allows us to move away from blame, from seeing others as the cause of our sustained lovelessness, but it enables us to experience agency, to know we can be responsible for giving and finding love. We need not blame others for feelings of lack, for we know how to attend to them. We know how to give ourselves love and to realize the love that is all around us. Much of the anger and rage we feel about emotional lack is released when we forgive ourselves and others. Forgiveness opens us up and prepares us to receive love. It prepares the way for us to give wholeheartedly, and giving brings us into communion with everyone. It is one way for us to understand that there is truly enough of everything for everybody.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. ever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace.
Yes. Woo! Give it up one more time to our multi-talented band. So fun when we get to see Joe, the bassman, also singing with such grace and love and vulnerability. Thank you. We are held in the hands of grace, safe in the arms of love. I love this idea that when we are not at our best, however we may define that we can surrender into the arms of love to hold us, allowing grace to hold us and remember that there is something greater moving within us as love, and that we can surrender to this love and allow it to be the guiding force in our lives. So speaking of love, this month's theme is Love Out Loud. And we are basing it on the book All About Love by the incomparable Black feminist author and Kentuckian, the cultural critic, Kentucky's very own Bell Hooks. So we kicked off this month talking about honesty, being honest with ourselves, with our grief and our pain, and allowing ourselves the space to embody love in all aspects of our life, and to allow that love to propel us to keep moving forward to the mountaintop of justice. And then last week, we looked at Bell Hooks' idea of living a love ethic, one of honesty and openness and personal integrity, and how to allow our supple hearts to stretch and grow through compassion and a willingness to find ourselves in the other. So this is deep work, y'all. You know, we come together every week and say that love is always the answer, but do we fully understand the depth of what we mean by the word love? It can be easy to conflate love with niceness, right? With this gentle, soft energy, this wanting to make someone feel better. But there's a difference between niceness and kindness. And kindness speaks truth. Kindness is love moving through us to say and do the next right thing for the highest good for all. Niceness is not always genuine, right? It's that bless your heart. It's the bless your heart kind of love. And it's often a whitewashed version of love that is only seeks to appease or keep things at the status quo or this superficial, surface level of niceness to avoid conflict. And trust me, I get it. I'm a 9 on the Enneagram, which is known as the peacemaker. And my innate response to conflict is to move past it as quickly as possible, if not avoid it, if possible. And through the many years of my own personal growth and spiritual practice, I have learned to identify that fear when it arises, the fear of conflict, the fear of what love is actually wanting me to say. So I have learned to identify then what I would call that voice of niceness within me, which, is an identity I've cultivated since childhood. I mean, with a name like Rainbow, come on. I love my name, Mama. And, I took on some meaning that it meant I always had to be nice and positive and happy and keep everything at peace. So within me, I began to recognize when that voice, that niceness is emerging, and instead to breathe into it, to stretch in my willingness to grow and to go deeper, to really listen to what love would have me do or say in that moment. And it doesn't mean it's not kind or loving to say what needs to be said. So love isn't always what we want to hear. Love can be that fierce mama bear energy that can cut like a knife through fear and transform us in ways that we didn't even know was possible. So that is the kind of love that we talk about when we say that love is always the answer. It's not bless your heart with a smile and maintaining the status quo. It is the transformative healing power of love that allows us to see a new perspective and experience something greater. So today, our topic is looking at this idea of mutuality as the heart of love. And the dictionary defines mutuality as the sharing of a feeling, action, or relationship between two or more parties. And its synonyms are a reciprocal relationship or reciprocity, right? Which we talk about that a lot here too, this idea that we live in a reciprocal universe. So I often say that relationships is where we get to do our work. Anyone agree? Can I get an amen? All right. There we go. So, it can be easy to want to just sit in the feeling of the and the peace of meditation. And then we go out into the world, and there's other people. We bump up against each other, and we discover what love really is. Relationships provide that opportunity to practice love in ways that stretch us and cause us to confront our often hidden beliefs about ourselves from childhood throughout all of our experiences. So we can think about love as just this aspect of life that just is, and therefore doesn't require nurturing. But if we really are interested in knowing a deeper experience of love in our lives and in our relationships, love is something that takes nurturing. Just like any other quality that we want to experience in our life, to grow in, to have a deeper understanding and experience of, we must nurture it, cultivate it, find ways to experience and understand it deeper with awareness and conscious curiosity. Just like if we endeavor to experience more joy in our life, we can't just sit at home alone and pout. We have to cultivate play and connection. So I want to give a shout out to the 30-some people that were here yesterday for our game night. Was that fun or what? Yes. I was not able to attend, but Jennifer live streamed me in for a few moments, and it was just was such a joy to see everyone together from the littlest to the tallest. I won't say the youngest to the oldest. But knowing that we are this intergenerational community that comes together and plays together. So if we want to experience more joy, we have to cultivate that experience through opportunities to connect and to play. And if we want to experience, say, more abundance, we have to practice giving and receiving, that reciprocal nature, right? So love also is something that we must tend to within ourselves and in our relationships if we want to have a deeper understanding of it. And like the song lyrics say, love is something, if you give it away, you'll end up having more. How cool is that? Imagine something that you can get, it feels like a riddle almost, right? Like, what is something that if you give, you actually get more of? Love. So we are living in this reciprocal universe, and we get to ask ourselves, how are we going to become in right relationship with that reciprocity, with the quality of love in our lives? And it takes practice. Bell Hooks says, the practice of love takes time. Without a doubt, the way we work in this society leaves individuals with little time when they are not physically or emotionally tired to work on the art of loving. I just love that idea, the art of loving. So imagine how different the world would be if we truly valued love as much as we do work and productivity and money and these other things in our world. And it doesn't mean that those are bad or wrong. It's all about being in right relationship, right? To focus all on work and money and productivity with no love leaves us experiencing lack and the fullness of life that is possible. So while we can think of love as something that it's, perhaps it's just, of course, love is one of my strongest values. I noticed when reading Bell Hooks' invitation to practice love, I started to reflect and think for myself, all right, how much time, if I were to put it in my calendar, how much time am I actually spending and putting my energy towards demonstrating and reflecting that commitment to love in my life? And I invite you to ask yourself the same. Are you allocating time to nurture love? And what does this look like? Well, one is practicing sitting with ourselves, being with ourselves, loving ourselves. It could be through an act of self-care, of allowing love and grace to support us in our endeavors, right? Are we allocating time to nurture love as that creative energy of life moving in, as, and through all of us? Nurturing love in our relationships. In All About Love, Bell Hooks invites us into her world of curiosity about understanding all aspects of love. So this idea of practicing love, it really landed for me because I realized that sometimes I could take love for granted. Like, love is who I am, love is all there is. Like, we say these things all the time. So I could take for granted the idea that it is actually something that I need to practice consciously. And then I can see when I began to approach love as something to practice, to scratch an itch when we have it, no matter if it seems appropriate or not, right? What a demonstration. Dogs, they don't care. It's okay, Loretta. The dog's just being the dog and loving itself because it has an itch. But how much do we hold back because this isn't appropriate? But what a demonstration of self-love. It had an itch, it scratched it, right? What if we were willing to do that, to acknowledge? Yeah. You never know where our lessons are going to come from, right? But how often, going from that, do we kind of discount our own needs and what our body is telling us it needs or wants because we think we're supposed to show up and be and do something a certain way? So we practice love through self-love, through being curious and noticing first what we even desire and what our body is telling us it needs and wants. In order to approach love as something to practice, we get to fully embody love. And just like any other skill that we may desire to master, it takes practice. We can practice love as a spiritual practice, opening our hearts in meditation, sending our love and just holding people in our hearts and our minds and with love and compassion. We can practice love through self-forgiveness. We can practice love in the many interactions we have throughout the day, not only with our loved ones, but with strangers. One of the ways that I practice love, and again, I'm saying practice, doesn't mean I'm perfect, this thing called love, right? So one of the ways that I practice is assuming the best intentions from others. So when I feel slighted or upset by someone's actions, I assume that they are coming from the best intention, which then it really isn't about them. What that does is allows it to bring it back to myself. By assuming the best intention, instead of getting caught up on why they did or didn't do this thing to me, assuming that they were coming from whatever circumstance that they were in and wherever they are, that what it does to me is just lets them off the hook so I can turn the focus back to me and see what triggered me in that moment as an invitation to know myself better. Assuming the best intention in others helps me from getting caught up in a story out there and brings me back to saying, okay, well, what is it about this that is upsetting me? What is triggering me by what this person did or said? I think about a simple example of this is when we're driving in traffic. Such an opportunity for grace, right? And someone comes racing through and, cuts you off, and you have to slow down a little bit, and maybe they make the light and you don't. How are you going to respond in that moment? So to assume the best intention would require, this is just something I do, like, oh, maybe they needed to get to the hospital. It doesn't matter. They probably didn't. They're probably, just caught up in their own world. But it doesn't matter. When I say, okay, give a little grace, maybe, they needed to get to something important, I can then look at myself and say, okay, well, why is this bothering me? Am I feeling rushed? Am I worried about being late? Did I not give myself enough space or time? Am I stressed? What is really going on? Because what I notice is there are moments when someone cuts me off and it's literally nothing. It just is what it is. And there are moments when I get, ah. So what's the difference? Me, not the other person. So I get to breathe and bring that focus and that love back to myself, to truth and to peace, and to the love that is present in this now moment as an invitation to go deeper into understanding myself and in relationship to myself. So Bell goes on to propose this idea that if we create space to work on love, that it would have a huge impact not only in our relationships, but also in our work life and in our overall quality of life. So she says, truly, there would be no unemployment problem in our nation if our taxes subsidized schools where everyone could learn to love. Job sharing would become the norm. With love at the center of our lives, work could have a different meaning and focus. Imagine going to school and one of your courses is on love, right? How would the world be different? There are such staggering statistics regarding the amount of people that are unhappy in their jobs. Those that are simply working for the weekend, right? And we kind of make light of it because it's such a cultural norm that we have songs about it and we joke about it and we have memes about it. But what if we were to flip the script and see a new possibility? Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Just because it is, it doesn't have to be that way in the future. And it starts with the now, with our willingness to begin to prioritize love in all that we do and begin to work towards a shift in the structural ways in our society that uphold this idea that it's better to be productive instead of simply be and love, right? So how do we work towards not only knowing love within ourselves, but towards creating that shift in the structures and systems of our society by recognizing love as the foundational need within all of us that it really is. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight and that there won't be challenges. You know, this isn't an invitation to just go and quit your job tomorrow to find your bliss, right? We do live in this kind of dichotomy of the world of form, and the opportunity is to allow ourselves to grow and expand in our own consciousness and awareness of love and what we value, and then share that such that it becomes a cultural value. So if we were taught to truly love our neighbors and actually demonstrate that, how would that change? If we were taught not to fear the other from a place of, lack or scarcity or, because they're different or they might take our jobs, right? This is all fear and lack. Imagine if the predominant narrative of our culture was a foundation of love, seeing all as love and all as the beloved. To be curious and open and ask, what would it look like to collectively create a world in which it is safe to love and to see others as the beloved, right? So this vision that Hooks writes about and all about love, it's about calling forth something new. And again, it may not be achieved in my lifetime, but it doesn't mean it's not worth striving for future generations, for the health of our planet. So we ask ourselves, what is my part in co-creating this world? And for me, getting to teach about love And not only teach about it, but be about it is the work. And it's what motivates me and gives me hope for a better future and tomorrow by contemplating love and knowing love and choosing love over and over again. And when I forget to give myself the space and the grace to choose again. I've noticed that this phrase, space and grace, has become kind of my mantra for this year. You know, sometimes we set intentions, like this is my word of the year and whatnot, and then other times things find us. So I didn't really, intend or find like a word for the year, but what I have now noticed is that it found me through this mantra of space and grace. I find myself saying it over and over, not only requesting this from others, but also of myself, asking for grace, as well as offering grace and demonstrating that when others forget and stumble, as have I. And I find it interesting that Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind teaching, his definition of love and grace are so similar. So last week we looked at this definition of love as the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Well, he also defines grace as the givingness of spirit to its creation. It is not a special law, but a specialized one. Grace is, but we need to recognize it, he says. So grace is, love is. Spirit is always giving of itself to us through us. And not as some special favor from some God outside. Grace requires us to have the willingness to allow it, to recognize it, to be open to it, open to love, the love within us, to shine the light of truth on the situation at hand and bring us back to the moment of peace, of possibility, and love. So when I say grace and space, I mean the willingness to practice, to make space for grace and love in our lives. And I notice myself offering this guidance to many others these days through all that is occurring in the world. It just feels like so much is up for deep healing at the collective level, and then, of course, at the individual level. So to give ourselves the space and grace to embrace our messiness, our humanity, and to love ourselves even when we don't feel like we may deserve it. And same, to love others when we feel like they may not deserve it. So to me, grace is the willingness to express love through letting go of the past and letting go of any meaning that I may have made about myself based on what occurred. And to allow forgiveness to have its way through us as the healing, transformative power of love. Which brings us to another way to practice love through the spiritual practice of forgiveness. Now, I had intended to speak on forgiveness today, and then I realized that that is actually a whole other talk and requires a bit more time and attention. So I'm going to give myself the grace and the space to dive into that deeper this week, so that means you have to come next week or tune in next week to explore this idea of forgiveness even deeper. And, it's kind of like those podcasts that now there's a part 2. We didn't get to it, so come back for part 2, right? So this week, I invite you to look at how love is showing up in your relationships as an opportunity and an invitation to know yourself more fully. Are you in? Yes, all right. Let's pray about it. Let's take a nice deep breath again, breathing in and out. One more deep, conscious breath, breathing in and out. Breathing in love, exhaling love. Integrating, embodying love. Recognizing that love is all. Love is the very power and presence of life expressing itself in, as, and through each of us. Love is transformative. Love is greater than all fear. Love is infinite. Always expanding and growing. The more we give, the more we open to receive this quality of life known as love. So I know and affirm that love is all, and therefore love is who I am. Love is the very essence and nature and truth of each and every one of us. So I speak this word now from this place of oneness, affirming that love is leading the way in my life right here, right now. That I'm open to receive and to feel and to know a deeper expression of love as my life. To lean into love. To allow grace to move through the parts of me that may be holding on to resentment, that may be holding on with a hardened heart, and allowing love and grace and compassion to gently soften my heart, to stretch, to grow the supple heart that lives within me, to hold and to know truth and peace, to be a living demonstration of love as kindness, as self-love, becoming aware of my needs and desires, of what is seeking to express through me, to love myself by listening to myself, acknowledging and honoring myself, and giving myself that space and grace to feel, to process, to express, and to embody the full essence of my humanity. Knowing that right here, right now, love is. Love will never abandon us, for it is who we are. So I breathe in and allow that feeling tone of love to permeate my entire being, to relax my shoulders, to surrender to love. So grateful. So grateful to know love is right here, right now, always expressing itself through me, as me. So grateful to get to know and understand myself as love. And so grateful for the fulfillment of this word as I release it into the action of the law that always says, yes, 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 my beloved, it is done. And it is so. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
Yes. Now, before you sit down, turn to someone and say, I love you. And now, give yourself a hug and say, I love you. Yes, so much love in this room. Woo! All right, so we are now going to move into our time of conscious giving. This is that opportunity to practice the reciprocal nature of the universe, to practice the flow of abundance in our life, knowing that just as we can't outgive love and outgive God, we cannot outgive the source of abundance in our lives. So we have the opportunity to give from an open heart, from the overflow, in order to allow and open up to all the ways that abundance and love is seeking to express through us in our life, and especially our finances. Yes? Yes. So I invite you to repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. That's right.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. Oh, I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Yes. Woo! Yes. So we have many opportunities to gather, to connect, and to deepen. Next Sunday, the last Sunday of our month, is our community potluck. Make sure to bring a dish for that. It's so much fun to get to break bread together. And today, as I mentioned, is the youth training right after service from noon to 1. Stick around for that. Many have requested a desire to experience more ease with technology related to how you connect to Ahava. So we have this database called Breeze, and with that, we can help you be able to see and give and see your contributions, your attendance, various things. We also have various social media platforms in which you can engage. So we will be explaining all of that, as well as ways that you can engage with, like text to give, or I'm forgetting something else, our live stream, YouTube, all these things, Zoom. So if you would like any support in that, we ask that you bring your own device, your cell phone, tablet, laptop, whatever you use that is portable, and I'll be explaining some ways that you can engage online with Ahava, and then we have a team of folks who will sit with you one-on-one and on your personal device show you, this is our Facebook page. This is how you see this. This is where you can go and do this, and have you actually set it up. So we want to support you in experiencing ease and grace with technology. Yes? Yeah. We can do this. Also, that's going to be March 5th and 2 Sundays after service. We get to drum. That's right. You didn't get my drum. Yeah. Drum together with our very own Joan Brandon. She is going to be offering a whole life drumming workshop. That is Sunday, March 12th after service. And it's going to be a rich experience diving in also to the culture and roots of West Africa through drumming. Make sure you save the date for that. And we have a new class coming up. So grateful to offer one of our foundational courses called Spiritual Practices and Principles. So if you want to know more about these things that we talk about on Sunday as spiritual principles and how to embody them and practice them, I encourage you to take this 5-week course. It is hybrid, so you can do it online or in person, and it will be a rich experience either way. There is information online. I believe we might have the link to be dropping online to register. There is also information in our community room, and that class starts up Thursday evenings, March 16th. Lastly, we are having a drag show, y'all. What? For the love of drag. It is a fundraiser for Ahava and a way to support the creative expression and this unique performance art that has such rich roots in Lexington, if you did not know, that which is called drag. So For the Love of Drag is going to be March 18th at 7 p.m. There is a $15 suggested love donation, all of which comes back to Ahava, as well as you are encouraged to bring your dollar bills, y'all. Or we're going to have a way that you, with a QR code, can text your tips to our wonderful performers who are also going to share in the reciprocity with donating back to Ahava. So thank you, Category 5 Productions, for putting this wonderful show together for us. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it is an all-ages show, so bring the little ones too. Lots of fun. I think that's it for now. Keep an eye out for our newsletter where you can get all the links and sign up for all the things. But for now, let's turn it back over to our band. Woo!
Question is why are we here? Say our hellos and goodbyes and then disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master war. There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. We all make mistakes. No, we're not perfect yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. And the question that sits on everyone's lips, so why should we pick ourselves up and start over again? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. The question I'll ask at the end of my days is, what did I give and what will I take? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart and your dreams have been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Sing it with me now. Love is still the answer. answer.
Jason Mraz, right? Lauren was holding back on us with that guitar. Woo! Thank you, thank you. All right.
Love you, you're a shining star, wonderful, just the way you are. We celebrate your sacred space. We love you just the way you are. We love you just the way you are.
All right, everybody, let's say our affirmation together.
I love myself.
Yes. Woo!
Sage, what did we talk about today specifically?
Self-love.
Self-love. And self-love meaning we love
Our mind, body, and soul. Or mind, body, yeah.
our mind, body, and spirit, our soul. And we talked about different ways we can do that, practice self-love for each of those parts of ourself. And we made a couple different projects. One, the intention is for them to put a picture of themselves in there.
So cute.
And say their affirmations in the morning, talk about the day at the end of the day. We talked about, we haven't practiced it yet because we don't have a mirror in the classroom, but looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying how we love ourselves and what we're grateful about ourselves. And was there anything else I was going to say, Amina? We learned a song. Okay, that's why I forgot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I love myself so much
that I can love you so much. So you can love you so much. And you can start loving me.
Sing along.
I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. So you can love you so much. And you can start loving me. Woo! Yes.
Join us for our youth training at 12. Thank you.
All right. Woo! Love it, love it.
Go, Banyan.
So just a reminder that practitioners are here to support you through prayer. So we have an opportunity to get in-person prayer right over here after service with one of our licensed spiritual practitioners. They do ask that you wear a mask if you are getting prayer, and I believe there's some available in the back if you need one. You can also submit your prayer request online or in our prayer box. So give yourself the opportunity to experience space and grace through sitting with a spiritual practitioner. Yes, it is an amazing opportunity. All right, let us bring our service to a close. I invite you to stand and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
I share it.
Just the way it appears.
Just the way it appears.
And just the way it appears not.
And just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life. Let me live in a holy, holy way.
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 Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a Let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. We want to thank everyone for coming out today and for watching online. Don't forget all the special events we have coming up, and if just during this week, if you have an itch, go ahead and scratch it. Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.